Hello guys, and welcome to this tutorial on bash scripting. In this video we are going to explore the basics of bash scripting and learn how to automate tasks using the bash shell. It is so much important and popular nowadays because most of the companies, most of the technologies are using Linux, and when you're using Linux you have a lot of things you want to automate to simplify your code deployments and just overall process of work. So join me in this video, stay tuned and learn with me. So to start with, the bash or the Bourne Again shell is a popular Unix shell command language. It provides powerful and efficient way to interact with your computer's operating system. Let's try to check if we have the bash installed on our computer. Okay, so for those of you who are new to this, right, we are going to, first of all, I'll show you how to configure your bash shell, right? The easiest way, if you are using GitHub, you can use the git command shell to check if you have bash configured, right? You can just type say bash and -- vision. So here I have this vision 4 point something. Yours may be different. If you've noticed, I'm using a Windows machine, right? So Windows by default has this PowerShell, right? And just to have the kind of right syntax, as in the way I'm writing my commands with Linux, I prefer to use this git shell. We are going to start by first of all creating a file we're going to work in, right? So we can create a file using the command touch, and let's just call it test.sh for the shell. And we can see here I'm using Visual Studio as a text editor. The first thing that you need to do when you are writing your bash script is to include the hashbang, as in we are going to specify how we want our script to be run. So let us not forget to include this. Okay, so this is called a shebang or hashbang. It is used to specify the interpreter that will be used when we execute the code. So we can either have if you are using a file which is ending with .s, this one, it kind of indicates that it's a bash script, right? If you don't want to use the bash to execute, you can instead of bash here, you can put Python based on your script. So this is what to begin with. Okay, so the first thing we are going to look at is how to write basic code, right? How do you define a variable in bash? Okay, so this is a comment, by the way. If you start with the hash sign, this one, how you call it, pound, I don't know, how you call it, hash, and then we can say maybe variable declaration and assignment, right? Okay, and how do we create a variable? Let's just say we have name. Okay, name equals to John. Okay, so we create a variable by just giving the name without putting any space. In case you put space here, it won't it will give an error. So name equals to John, and let's say age equals to 25. So in this way we're able to define the variables, and to see what this looks like, we are going to echo, let's say my name is, and to target our variable we use the $, right? And I am the age, we can get it by using this, and we write years old. Boom, done. Okay, so this is how we access our variables, by using a $, in front. And yeah, so let's go ahead and run the script. We can run it in the again in the shell by, let's first of all check what's in this folder. We have the tests. Okay, .s, so we can run it by dot the same directory, right? And then we say test and we press on the tab command on the tab key to have this autocomplete working. And okay, so guys, if you noticed, it said but interpreter, because so if you noticed, it said but interpreter here because we didn't add this / to specify the directory where our interpreter is, right? So just okay, awesome. So when we run this script, okay, we get my name is John and I am 25 years old, right? So this is how you define variables and how you use them in Bash. And the next thing we are going to talk about the basic commands output, right? Okay, so now the basic command output, how do we get the command output? Here we have echoed something, right? And let's say this one, let's say echo the command and command substitution. Okay, and so let's say echo hello world, right? And echo, let us create a variable here like current directory, and we get the directory name and this okay, and we say current directory is this one. And when we run our script again, okay, so now we're able to get our current directory from here, right, in this command, and we're able to just give a command inside PowerShell and get what's the output. We can write this command, let's say pd in bash script, that it's going to give us the current directory, and we also can give a command inside this script, right? So it can be any command, let's say ls, okay, and we run this, it's giving us what's inside our current directory, right? Is this file here. And so like this, we're able to give commands, or we're able to write commands inside the bash script, right? And we're able to redirect a command to an output file, right? Let's say we have here this one, and we can, let's say, list the elements, let's list and then -l, and to the file, let's say file.txt, okay, and cat file.txt, okay, and let's see what we have. So we expect to have now a file called file.txt with the information we've logged here on here, right? So the things that we need to know here is that we have echo. We're using echo to print out the things on the terminal, and we have and we can use the $sign with like these brackets to pass any command inside and have it executed inside the bash script. And we can also redirect commands using this operator, right? This one. And for instance, we had to list the files, listing the elements, listing the files inside this folder and pushing them to a file called text, right? And then we named the result to be like file of this one. Okay, so we move on to, oh, by the way, we can also see here we've logged whatever I wanted to this file. We are also able to write conditional statements, right? So we can again comment this out. Yeah, so we can even delete because we don't need anymore. Yeah, so conditional statements, right? So we'll start by looking at the simple if, else statements. Okay, so let's say num equals to 10. Okay, initial number. And let's say, how do you write a condition in bash, right? So here's the syntax. So let's say if, and then we have the brackets. Make sure you remember to leave space in at the beginning and the end of the brackets, otherwise it won't execute your code. So let's say we access our variable number, right? So again we have the operators here. Let's say equals to 10. All right, so by the way, this is how we write the equal to sign in bash. So if this is equals to 10, then when you write when you add these semicolons, right, to the end of the script, it just means that you ending the line and having it to execute the next line in the next line. For example, you can write this the way it is and then just write down here then, or you can put these curly brackets here, mean that this line is ended and it's going to treat the next command as a new line, right? But to keep it uniform, we are going to just use this then. Okay, if it equals to this one, then we echo that number is 10, right? And we're able also to else we can echo number is not 10, and then we finish our script here by using this command, right? And let's see if it works. Okay, so our number is 10 and then it equals this one. What if we change here, we put 11? Okay, and then we run our script. Okay, so the number is not 10. Okay, oh sorry, but the thing is we made a mistake here. We have a typo. Okay, so the number is not 10. We get the results here. Okay, and also we can check, right, if it's greater than, let's say if it's greater than 10. Okay, number is greater than 10. We're able to see, yep. So we're able to check, right, if the number is less than, greater than, or we can check also here in this way. So we've learned that, okay, we can use the commands, equal to, or we can use the commands greater, okay. We can use also like less than, and for more you can just refer to the documentation for bash scripting to get more complex conditions, if or else conditions. And yeah, so again we also are able to create a loop, so let's look at creating a loop, right? How do we create a loop? Creating a loop in bash, right? If you're programming in Python, maybe like kind of similar, but let's see. For I in, okay, let's just say this one, and we can end this command and just say do here, okay. What this means is just the same as not doing this, right? Okay, so we say we want to echo number is $I, right? And we're done. Let's check how this goes. So we've created a loop, right, from ranging from 1 to 6, and we're able to access the values in here, and by using this $sign, and we're able to echo. So there's a lot of multiple applications to this. You can have all the files in the folder in form of an array, and you can loop inside them and make some dynamic changes. It's such a useful and awesome thing to be able to use. Okay, and we can also use a while loop, right? Let's say let us try to create a while loop. So let's say counter equals to 1, and then let's just say while. So while counter is less than equal to 5, right? And then we use do command. It's echo out. The counter is counter, and let's increment the counter. Counter equals to count equals to the output of this counter plus 1. Okay, and then what are we going to do next? We're done. Okay, so let us compile our code and see how it's running. And we can also, so this is how we create a while loop, and this is how we're accessing the output of this loop at this instance, right, of the count, and then adding 1 to increment it. And another thing we can look at is until loop, right? So let's say we can just comment this part so that you don't confuse us. Okay, so we have here, let's say number equals to 10, and let's say until number is equal to 0, right? And then we echo out the things we want. So let's say number is number, and here again we get the value of this number at that instance, and we want to reduce it, right? And then we say we're done. Okay, and let's see, let's compile our code. So as you've seen, we started from 10, and then we kept on decreasing our value till it's done. Okay, so another thing we are going to look at, guys, is functions, right? Functions. So when you look at functions, it's a great way to, like, group together our commands, right? If we have commands which are doing a specific task, and then at the same time these commands, if we'll be reusing the variables, we don't want to keep on copying and pasting the same code everywhere. The best thing we do is just group everything, the functionality, and post it in a function. So we're going to make it more reusable by using a function. Okay, so how do we define functions in Bash, right? So we define a function. Oh, okay, so we define a function by just writing, let's say grid like this, okay, and the brackets. This is how we define the function, and we can echo out, let's say welcome, right? And the $sign and 1, that is to access the value, to access the variable we're going to pass into the function, right? Okay, so, and how are we going to call our function? We just say greet, and you can say Bonnie, and yep. So let us check if this worked. Okay, so it says welcome Bonnie, right? So we've created a function and we've passed in the variable, and we are able to pass in like multiple things, and we can access them here by let's say okay. So we're able to pass in multiple parameters here, and then we have welcome, Bonnie, Monica, Daria, and so on. So this is how we use functions, right? And just unlike other languages, you can't call a function before. You can't call a function before declaration, right? If you, let's say, call this function here, and it's going to give an error because you're trying to access it before it's defined, right? You've seen. So make sure like you take note of this. And another thing, let's say we can also let us write a simple function, right, to get the square of a number. Let's say square, okay, and here we have, let's say we create a local variable, local and result. And for those of you who don't know what to mean by local, I'll explain, right? Equals to okay, we get the variables passed into this function one, and we multiply by the second one. Okay, and then we want to echo the results. All right, and we call this and say to, right, so we call square, okay, and so to call this function, we can wrap it inside the, let's say, results, okay, and then we equate it to the instance, like the output of square, and yep, okay. And let's echo, okay, and let's see what we have. Says syntax. Okay, I think we have some issues here. Let's give some space, and yep. So we have an error, and the error, okay, let's see, it says line 13, okay, and the operand expected is token is this one. So I have the $sign, okay, and this one here, and we don't have, it's expecting only the face here, and this, yep, okay, awesome, and the result is 4. Okay, so to summarize, so guys, there you have it. So we've looked at how to define variables, basic like variables, how to use comments, how to use for loops, and also how to create functions. So these basics are what you need to create something big and scale it to automate almost everything. I encourage you to explore further, the documentation, and just dive in deep and learn bash scripting, because it's going to help your work and help your company and whatever projects you're working on to make your work much more easier. Congratulations guys, if you made it to the end of this video, thumbs up, and keep on learning. I advise you to look at the bash scripting documentations and the references so that you can learn more and more advanced things. Of course, I'll go ahead and post some more real life examples and applications of bash scripting in our daily lives. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for joining, and we're coding for bread again. Bye.